What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ty Asbury from Off the Top Rope. And Off the Top Rope Saturday night comes down 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, presented by SixPackCoverage.com. And I have a special Saturday night bonus for you. We all know AEW Revolution is this Sunday night, and I need some help doing my picks for this huge card. So, one talented lady that's going to help me pick every single match for Revolution on Sunday night, the Queen of Soft Style, Miranda Morales, stops by the ropes to help out your boy Ty Asbury pick the AEW Revolution card. The Queen of Soft Style, AEW Revolution, Off the Top Rope, a triple bonus.
Tyrone Asbury. Yo. Yeah. I need y'all to listen to me right now as I take you on this journey. Podcast journey. Only the greats can make it to this level.
What's up, everybody? It's Saturday night, and you know what's going down. Your boy Ty Asbury live with Off the Top Rope. I'm calling this episode AEW Revolution Eve, I guess you can call it, but I'm not alone. I say it all the time. She has my favorite voice in wrestling, the Queen of Soft Style. So like I said, Lucha Central, Chairshot.com, Ring Announcing Podcasting. She's back to help me with this huge card tonight. Miranda, what is up?
I'm doing good, Ty. Happy New Year. It's so good to see you. It's so great to be back on Off the Top Rope, especially for this special edition. I'm so excited, and I'm really thankful to be with you tonight.
Yeah, and Miranda, before we came on live on the show, we talked about it. They got a huge card packed for tomorrow night, so we got our work cut out for us. I mean, I know both of us being fans, first and foremost, we got to do some digging, and we got to get these picks going. So first and foremost, though, how are you doing? I mean, you're really making a name for yourself in Arizona, California wrestling stuff. So all your fans want to know what's going on, because we got to promote you first and foremost. So
it's always weird to be on this side. I'm always kind of on your side of the microphone, asking people questions and announcing. So to be on this side, to me, I don't think I'll ever quite get used to it. But things are doing well, as you mentioned. Still active with the two wrestling sites that I'm a part of, thechairshot.com, as part of my own show, the Hashtag Miranda Show, and the Greg DeMarco Show. Those are airing every week on Wednesdays at thechairshot.com. And then the Lucha Central weekly podcast that I co-host with Brendan Barr and Dusty Murphy, that has been going strong. We're heading into our 2-year anniversary later this spring, and that is still coming out each and every week on luchacentral.com, where we cover everything in the world of Lucha Libre. And so those are going very, very well. And a big thank you to everyone who listens to the shows on thechairshot.com and luchacentral.com. And as you mentioned, I'm still actively announcing. The next show I'm going to be announcing at is actually Phoenix Championship Wrestling. That's going to be in Mesa, Arizona at the Broadway Rec Center next week on March 12th, and Arizona Wrestling Federation on March 19th in Phoenix, as well as Future Stars of Wrestling on March 27th in Las Vegas. Pro Wrestling Revolution, which will be my first time announcing with them in San Francisco on April 8th. And then Lucha Libre Mexicana, that's going to be at Agua Caliente Casinos in Cathedral City, California. That's going to be May 7th, as well as IZW Impact Zone Wrestling, Clash Town in Coolidge, Clash Town in Coolidge. That's going to be on April 28th in Coolidge, Arizona. So the next few months is pretty busy. So I'm really happy to take some time to be able to hang out with you and to make some AEW predictions.
Yeah, I'm really honored that you took the time out of your super busy, Queen of Soft Style schedule to hang out with me here on the show tonight, so we can get these picks going, because like you said, you're excited. I'm excited for this pay-per-view. So for I'm gonna do for everybody. I got a graphic. I'm gonna pull it up. So we're going to start with. And here we go. We got the first match. I'm just going from top to bottom. We got Jade Cargill. She is the current TBS Women's Champion. She's going up against Ty Conti. Now we all know that Jade is undefeated, just domination, and we're asking all of ourselves who's going to beat her. So I'm gonna let Miranda take this first, and she give us her analyst of who she thinks is going to be the women's TBS champion after tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like one of the best things AEW has done, and one of the brightest stars they've really been able to hone in and develop through their product is Jade Cargill. I think she was tailor-made for the TBS championship, and I feel like they really are building her as one of their top stars, not just top women stars, top stars in general. So to me, it feels like this is just the beginning of her reign, not the end. I do think that she has a really formidable competitor in Ty Conti, with someone who has a different moveset, again, a little bit more influenced with, between MMA, lucha libre, and also technical wrestling is a little bit different than the more pure athletic style of Jade Cargill. So I think it'll be a very interesting match. But to me, I feel like this is just one step in, the reign that is Jade Cargill's TBS championship reign. And this will be, a great defense. And we're still going to have her as our TBS champion at the end of the night.
Yeah, and I got to go with you on this pick. I mean, Ty Conti, she's doing her thing and really big name for herself. But at the end of the day, it's all about, them building up Jade Cargill. And I don't see her losing anytime soon. So I got to agree with the Queen of Soft Style. And I say Jade Cargill keeps the TBS women's title because that belt was made for her. And her time is not going to end anytime soon. So she keeps the title and walks out of Revolution as the TBS champion of AEW. Now we got this is a big one here. We got AHFO, Andrade, Matt Hardy, and we got Isaiah Cassidy versus Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and the man they call Sting. That's how Tony Schiavone does it. So I can't do as good as him, but this match has talent all around. So Miranda, who you gonna win this one?
I think it's good that Andrade finally has a little bit of a holding pattern with Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy. I do feel like they have a lot in common as businessmen, and also some common goals regarding Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin and even Sting. But I just feel like the star name of Darby Allin, Sting, and it keeps slipping my head in Sammy Guevara, that those three are riding on a pretty big high. And I do think that it's also going to, maybe there may not be necessarily perfect teamwork between Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin because they just had a match together against each other. Right. But I feel, and that maybe played out in the story in the match, but I feel like, it's either tailor-made for all of them to win, but maybe for eventually to see more of a story happen between Sammy and Darby. And so that's really what I'm going to be keeping my eye out for, is the partnership that they have between those two, or don't have, between the match. I'm sure there's going to be some breakdown, and we're going to see these two again on the opposite side of the ring. But I think for tomorrow night, for that night, the winners will be Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting.
Yeah, and you look at this match, there's so many things are surrounding this match. I mean, I know Matt Hardy and Andrade, they've had their issues trying to keep their business, going. But like you said, we saw on Rampage that Darby Allin, he didn't even shake Sammy Guevara's hand, and you're like, oh, here we go with that. So I think I'm going to agree. I'm going to say that Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Sting, they get the win, because I think with Matt Hardy's group, Andrade and him, they just can't seem to. They've been losing a lot, so I think that's going to falling apart. But I'm still saying, though, I'm gonna throw a bonus out there. I still think we may see Jeff Hardy tomorrow night. I got this feeling because there's been talks of him showing up. So But I'm agreeing with Miranda that I think Darby Allin, Sting, Sammy Guevara, too much star power on that team, and I say they get the W as well. So, and I want to say first and foremost, if you want to comment, your picks, talk to me and Miranda. Definitely send some comments here on Off the Top Rope because it is AEW, Revolution Eve. So the party's jumping here on the ropes tonight. Now, this huge card. Now, this is a big one. We got the AEW World Tag Team Championship triple threat style. So we got Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus versus Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Young Bucks. We know what they can do. So Miranda, I've been scratching my head with this one, so I gotta let you take this one first so I can think about it.
I know it's so hard. I want to say, and I don't mean this in a completely negative way, but I feel like since Jurassic Express has won the tag titles, it's felt to me a little underwhelming, and I just don't know if it's because the emphasis hasn't been on the tag division like it was in the past, especially when, say, the Young Bucks were champions or when Penta and Phoenix were champions. I feel like they've been just someone that we just haven't seen a lot, and I just don't know if that was because all these other stories are taking precedence, or because this is, really a stop for, maybe these tag titles to change hands to someone else. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards Red Dragon. I feel like with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, they have such a great history as a tag team and as tag champions. And as AEW was able to really persuade them to leave, some pretty comfy seats in NXT. I think too, it's about time to bring some maybe excitement back into the AEW tag division. And why not, even if, say, we do have the titles kind of hot potato around for a little bit, I think if anything that could actually at this point maybe help the division with even some of the new teams that they have, or just to kind of get some more interesting ground on. And that's just, my theory about it. I'm sure there may be people with lots of other better ideas, but my thoughts is that in comparison to some of the more recent tag teams that have won the titles, Jurassic Express, I don't know, has kind of fallen flat. And maybe there's some people who are always much better in the chase when they are champions. And I think that may be the case with Jurassic Express. So I'm going to pick Red Dragon.
Wow, that. And I'm still thinking, I know everybody's going to say, Ty, you got to hurry up. So, as wrestling fans, we analyze and like, this can happen. This person can show up, and I've been looking at how with, O'Reilly and Bobby Fish and the Young Bucks, they've been fighting amongst each other. Cause you got Adam Cole, they're like a whole huge group. So there's some dissension within them. So I'm going to stick and say that Luchasaurus, they retain, and that causes more problems with, the Young Bucks, O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. And I'm going to go say Luchasaurus, they retain, and that starts to create some dissension between Young Bucks, Adam Cole. That whole company right there starts to crumble. So that was a hard one. So I was like, man, but I can't go back now. I already said it. So
it has been set in stone.
It is definitely set in stone. Now we keep it going down. The next one, this is going to be, we got Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. This one's, we got two thoroughbreds right here.
This to me was like one of the hardest to pick, because I feel like in some of these matches there's very clearly who should win, who will win, and I think there's an explanation for both of these men as to why they should win, why they could win. And so it's very hard. I'm just leaning a little bit more to Bryan Danielson. I feel like for him and his character right now too, he's had some great wins, but he also had some losses, where I feel like establishing him too as more of this technical master heel is a little bit more important. I don't think Jon Moxley would lose anything by losing to Bryan Danielson. And I also think, as you talk too about analyzing and what's the next move, I think regardless of what happens with Jon Moxley, he can move into any other feud and be successful there, whereas with Bryan Danielson, I would question, what other feud would he go into next after losing to Jon Moxley? But this one's hard. I mean, there's a reason for both to win. You could have both, it can easily explain it. It would make sense both ways, but I'm just leaning a little bit more towards Bryan Danielson.
This seems like the type of feud that even if Bryan Danielson wins, this is like that feud that, like you said, Moxley can lose, go to another feud and be successful, but this could be one of those feuds and keep on going until they, annihilate each other, which I'm sure they'll do tomorrow night. Yeah. But my thing is Moxley just came back, and I think his first pay-per-view back, he shouldn't lose. That's what I'm looking at. I can't see him losing on his first pay-per-view back, in which this may continue this feud, and Bryan Danielson to come out and say, I want to fight you again. This isn't over. So
very true.
I think they'll beat the crap out of each other, but I'm gonna say about beating Moxley gets the win. And because, like you said, Miranda, this was super hard. I've been thinking about this all day. Getting the show together. I'm like, man, it's like I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Moxley. He says that he gets the win, but it's going to be a good match. This card is so good, like you can't figure out who's going to win. So we continue rolling here. Where our picks are here on Off the Top Rope for AEW Revolution tomorrow night. We have another good one. One of my favorites, Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. This one, this is another one that I don't know. Miranda got taken first.
Well, now I know why you're making me go first, so that way it's not so much. This is another one where I really went back and forth in thinking, who should win, who could win, and as far as, the promos have been amazing between these two. And it's almost a very similar situation with Chris Jericho being gone for some time and coming back. It would make sense for Chris Jericho to win. But again, also Chris Jericho has been, someone who has put, other people over, knowing what a win could do for their career. And I think that's really what this, to me, feels maybe a little bit about, where, Eddie Kingston could truly, truly benefit, what that next step could be, with a win from Chris Jericho. So my gut wants to say Eddie Kingston. What a big night for him would it be to beat Chris Jericho. I just wonder, what would that look like if Eddie lost? I don't think Chris Jericho would suffer as much if he didn't win, but I think Eddie Kingston having a loss after all the crap talking he's been doing, what that would look like. And again, I could see explanation for both ways, but my gut's just leaning towards Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I think like this has to be the moment, and I absolutely agree with you that Eddie Kingston gets that, like, not passing the torch, but this has to make his career, because Jericho told him, like, dude, you beat me, you're up there, because we all know Chris Jericho's like the GOAT of all wrestling, but he's one of the GOATs in AEW. So I think I agree. I think tomorrow night will be Eddie's time to get one on Jericho and get the win. And hopefully will Jericho shake his hand like he says he is? That I don't know. So, Jericho can be a good heel if he wants to. So, but I agree. As I say, Eddie Kingston gets the win over Chris Jericho. I think this is going to be not your catch as can match. It's going to be like a slugfest.
This is going to be a brawl. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be even a bit personal, because that's how Eddie Kingston wrestles. He really wrestles with all the emotion and his heart out there. And someone who I do think really respects that is Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho can absolutely tell a story as well as he can in the ring as he does on the mic. So this in and of itself is going to be one that people are going to be emotionally invested in. And I think they're going to be telling a great story in the ring.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody's watching Off the Top Rope Live tonight on the Saturday night. And Miranda Morales is in the house too. Of course, all of her fans say hi to her because she's blown up. Like I said, she's California, Arizona. She's doing her thing in the pro wrestling scene. So, like I said, comment, say hi to her, and ask her, Miranda, come to this town too, because we want to hear you announce as well. So, like I said, we got these picks rolling. So we got another big one. This is, of course, the ladder match for a future AEW TNT Championship title. So we got Keith Lee versus Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Christian Cage, who just recently won on Rampage. So, for Miranda, I'm going to go and pick this one first.
Yes, go, please.
I'm going to flat out say, because I think it's his time, I'm going Wardlow to win this. Because I think he's been like he's I think ready to break loose from MJF to do his own thing. I think Wardlow really I think he gets it tomorrow, and I think it'll piss MJF off. But I'm going Wardlow to win this.
Yeah, I was between two people for me, and one of them was Wardlow. I think that has been someone too that finally the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. AEW is truly seeing him for the beast that he can truly be, and that's being reflected in his matches. Very dominant wins. They're really racking up his win column, and he's now not just MJF's bodyguard. He is a force in his own right. But I guess for just for pick's sake, the other person that I had in mind was Keith Lee. And this is almost just a booking pattern that I've seen with AEW. When they bring in somebody new, they get big matches, they get big opportunities, and I feel like Keith Lee kind of checks all those boxes. And also, just the fact that that would be an amazing opportunity for him to go for the TNT Championship. And it's almost AEW's way of being able to say, hey, this is someone that we recognize talent in, and we're giving him the opportunities that maybe other places didn't. So, I know AEW has done that in the past, and, that's nothing bad or indifferent about how they do it, but it's just a pattern. You can tell that with all the big signees that they made, the next thing comes is a few big matches or a feud, and then it kind of goes downhill. I hope that, in the future, we're able to see people kind of remain to the surface level or at a more consistent level. But if it's not Wardlow, my money may be on Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. And the thing about seeing this match, you have ladders flying around, sort of tables. You got Wardlow, Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs. These freaking big monsters up that ladder. So it's going that match is going to be, plus being a bigger guy, he's going up that ladder. When these, really, these guys lose some steam climbing up the ladder. But this one's going to be interesting to see. But I'm just hoping it's Wardlow's time, because the way MJF slapped him in the face on Dynamite, I was like, yeah, they're planting seeds for the breakup. So.
Very true.
Now, rolling on, we have of course, AEW Women's title on the line. The role model, Britt Baker, against one of my favorites, Thunder Rosa. Miranda, this one, I'm going to let you take this one.
Yes, this has been one of my favorite feuds, if not my favorite feud that AEW has put together since the company's conception. And I feel like they've been able to play the long game with this. They've been able to do some great short-term booking as well. And I feel like Thunder Rosa has had a long road to here. Thunder Rosa was really the beginning of the Forbidden Door. And she really, when she first came on as NWA Women's Champion and to where she's at now, I know that AEW and the women's division wouldn't be in the same place without her. And with her lights out match with Britt Baker from last year also being such a turning point for the women's division, and almost that aha moment for AEW of how can they book women's wrestling that's different for them, but also successful for their women's roster. I feel like all of those have been met with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. I feel like we have gotten to the point where, this is the crowning moment for Thunder Rosa. This is the moment where all of her matches and her work and dedication have come through to this moment. So I hope and would love to see Thunder Rosa become the AEW Women's Champion.
Because, like, Britt Baker is the one, like, if she loses, like, what's her excuse going to be? She'll say, like, she's the type, she'll probably make an excuse if she loses. But same thing, Miranda, with all these matches, I was back and forth, and I guess I got to stop basing things on history, but when they had that really cool lights out match, which was a main event for Dynamite, which was awesome, Thunder Rosa did get that one, but I'm going to say Britt Baker retains because I think it's a matter of Britt saying, I owe you one. So I think Britt comes back, and I know she has forgotten about that match. So I say Britt retains because she has to make up for losing that lights out match. Because she said, "Oh, well, that match was, I shouldn't have lost." Something she said it during one of the broadcasts. But
yeah.
I say Britt. I say she retains. But don't get me wrong, Thunder Rosa, I love her. I mean, had her on the show, but I gotta say the role model. She keeps the title. So. But that's why this card is just so sizzling, spicy, and good. So the biggest one I think everybody's really excited about, and MJF left him a bloody mess on Wednesday. Dog collar match, CM Punk versus he's better than you, and you know it, MJF. This one, Miranda, I don't. This one's like it's like the story's been so good. I think it can go either way.
No, I agree. I mean, MJF already has 2 victories over CM Punk. So there's, of course, that side thing, what makes it not, why wouldn't it be 3 for 3? But I think with how much this story has escalated, especially this past week where CM Punk was a bloody mess, it's now beyond personal. It is a must win for CM Punk. And that's also where he's at his best. It's been a long time that CM Punk has, even with maybe his size against opponents, has been looked at as the underdog. And I think the story had to get to that point where MJF has used every trick, every piece of psychological and physical warfare to get to CM Punk. And I think now we see a breaking point for CM Punk. We already have in just pushing him, for him to push himself to even challenge for this match as a dog collar fight or dog collar match. So
yeah.
I'm going to say CM Punk wins. I feel like it has to go to all of these extremes for CM Punk to win. And this is where, the feud ends. So, MJF still has the 2 wins over this possible third or one over CM Punk. But I mean, I feel like everything so far, even with that one win on CM Punk's side, it's because CM Punk had to really go to a dark place to get there.
Yeah, and people might ask themselves, well, if MJF loses, will that hurt him? From a talent standpoint, as far as being over. I think if he loses, it don't matter because MJF is already over. CM Punk pretty much has. Him working with CM Punk has gotten him over. So MJF, he just gets so much good heel heat. He can lose, say, well, I already beat him twice, so it really don't matter. I still got more wins over him than he has over me.
Yes, exactly. But you're right. I feel like especially the graphic that we saw this week on Dynamite with a bloody CM Punk and MJF just over him, I feel like that's what people are going to remember. They're going to remember those moments. And MJF has been the best at that.
Yeah, he pulled a fast one on us, putting the sob story. And we all know when he said the sob story, he came out like he was about to cry. We're like, dude, you're not fooling us. So, and that's why he's good at what he does. But I'm going to agree with you, Miranda. I'm going to say CM Punk gets the win because he has to win. And when he was pissed off on Rampage, all bloodied up, he said, MJF, dude, you want this, you want the CM Punk that you know from years ago, you got it. So I was like, yeah, I think he's dog collar match too. Yeah, so I'm picking CM Punk to win this too as well. So for between these two guys, and last but not least, we have of course the main event. Of course, Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole, baby. This is for all the marbles, the AEW World Championship. And I don't know, Ray, you want me to take this one or do you want to take this one?
No, go ahead and take it away. This is your show. This is the last pick. So definitely hit us with it.
I think I'm going to say Adam Page retains. I mean, some people may say his title reign's been, underachieving. I like Adam Page. I just love him, his matches. I just feel like his title reign is it still has more steam left in it. So
yeah.
I do think the reason why I'm throwing a bonus out there, I think he wins because I think we see actually a returning Kenny Omega helping him win to keep the belt, because I think there's some with Adam Cole and Kenny Omega before he left. So I think I'm gonna say the Cowboy retains.
I agree that there's a lot more steam left in Adam Page's reign as world champion. I think that this is going to be a great match. He's facing himself, a former champion of the world in various different promotions. So I think that they're going to have a fantastic match. Fans, I think, are going to be at the edge of their seat. But there's still some left. And you're right. That wild card factor of Kenny Omega, whether it's tomorrow night or somewhere down the road, I feel like fans are clamoring to the idea of a rematch between Adam Page and Kenny Omega. I don't think the title's going to change before we get that rematch. So I agree that Adam Page is going to retain.
Yeah. I want to throw a bonus out for the CM Punk MJF match. I think tomorrow night, like we said, we all both feel that it's going to be Wardlow, his night, him winning the ladder match. I think he's going to play a reason and why MJF loses. I think Wardlow is going to actually cost and help CM Punk win, and that's where it all just crumbles. And MJF's going to be like, dude, So that's a bonus I want to throw in there. So.
Oh, good point. If anything, it justifies why MJF loses this third match, and it then adds fuel to a Wardlow MJF feud that could possibly happen. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we got through all the picks on the stack card, and if anybody watching live, you want to take a shot, definitely do it, because me and Miranda were like, man, when you got to just think and analyze, it's a damn good card for AEW Revolution live tomorrow night, of course, on pay-per-view. I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm sure Miranda will be too. And Miranda, before we close out off the top rope Saturday night, you said at the top of the show, just remind all your fans what is up next for you, because you are super duper busy.
Yes, of course, you can hear me on a weekly basis at thechairshot.com and luchacentral.com. So please make sure to check out those websites. You can follow me on social media at the #Miranda, hashtag spelled out, on Instagram and Facebook. There you'll be able to see information on upcoming shows that I'm going to be at in Arizona, Vegas, and the California area. Love to see you there if you're out here on the West Coast. Same thing for booking inquiries and backstage interviewer, ring announcer, host. You can reach out to me at the #Miranda on social media. And of course, the podcast happening weekly.
Man, only thing I can say, greatness. That's it. When I hear that, all the stuff you're doing, greatness. And I always say, good things happen to good people when they work hard. We all know the Queen of Soft Style. She puts in the work. She put in the work tonight, helping me with these darn picks for AEW Revolution tomorrow night.
Yes.
And Miranda, you always know you're always welcome back on Off the Top Rope. This is your home, so you're always welcome back on the show. And thank you so much for coming on out of your busy schedule to help me with the picks tonight.
Thank you, Ty, for the invite. I always enjoy coming here on Off the Top Rope. Always enjoy talking with you. You can just continue to blow me away with your podcast, all the interviews that you do. Make sure to check out all of Ty's interviews. I mean, you have interviewed some pretty big names in the world of pro wrestling. Go check the backlog out because you are a fantastic interviewer. And if they don't know, now they do.
Now they do. You don't know, now you know. Everybody, me and Miranda, we want to thank you very much for watching this episode of Off the Top Rope. Watch AEW Revolution tomorrow night. We definitely will, because it's going to be a kick-ass show. I'm your boy Ty Asbury, the Queen of Soft Style. Miranda Morales, join me tonight to help us with these crazy picks. Have a great night, everybody. Great weekend. AEW tomorrow night. We are out of here. Woo woo.